Hello everyone, it is me and I'm doing a rant video, as well as a discussion about the recent news of there possibly being a reintroduction of national service. Now, I think this is stupid and it won't work for a lot of reasons, which I'll explain now. So first thing first, the army, the UK army, is quite small. It's quite small. It's not just going to be sending lots of tanks and weapons to Ukraine. No, it is just a small army in general. Most people don't want to volunteer, so the idea is that they're going to be not conscription. That's technically different, but I think it's going to lead to that. To be fair, soon anyway. I hope not, but I'm not too optimistic. So first things first. You've got a very small army. Not many people are volunteering, and yes, I am aware that you also said like working for the NHS or the local community could be another option, but I think it's going to certainly with the way things are happening now, it's going to be much more likely that they're going to at least nudge people into joining the military. So that's the first thing. It's so small to the point where if people just say no, if people just refuse, say I'm not going, I'm not doing national service, they can't really do much actually. People are going to say it's going to be like a massive riot and protest if it happens. And there may be that if it is actually introduced. But I really think it won't even be that. I think even a better protest, cause just for marketing purposes, because if you're anti-national service and you've got people doing riots, being thugs, it will make them look bad. If people just say no and just stay at home, it will be incredibly hard for the army to do anything just based on how small it is. Just really based on how small it is, it couldn't really do anything. And also, most people don't want to join. Most people just don't really want to join the army nowadays. Now, this isn't say I don't like the army. I don't mind the army. I think we do obviously need an army, but most people don't want to join. Most people don't want to join, and most people don't even agree with national service. I mean, like I think around 20% at the very most of the UK population would want national service to come back. So it's very unpopular for the majority of voters from the left and the right. So who is this appealing to? This doesn't appeal to anyone. And another factor as well is that most people know that this is just cannon fodder. This is just an excuse for cannon fodder. Because the thing is though, even though the British Army is quite small, it's a decent army though. And one of the main reasons why that is because it's voluntary. You get genuine people who want to join and fight and defend their country, who does so voluntarily. So you get quality over quantity. And most people know just making people join the army who don't want to be there isn't a good idea because they don't want. They probably just will be bored. They don't want to learn. They probably don't even agree with it or something like that. So they're certainly not going to try their hardest. So the only valid reason why I really want to bring national service and not conscription is for cannon fodder. Because I would rather, in a war, I would rather have like 1,000 men who are fully equipped, who fully understand what they're doing and want to fight, than have 2,000 men who just don't care. Because the more the merry thing isn't really a good idea. So most people are aware it's just cannon fodder at the end of the day. So that's another factor in the issue. Another issue as well is that no one, like I said before, no one politically speaking support conscription on the left and the right. And I'm not talking about really political parties. I think it's a bit more common among reform voters and supporters that they would like to bring back national service. But other than that, no one wants it. No one really wants it. And the only people who really do are like boomers who didn't even have to get conscripted themselves, or are too old to get conscripted or do national service. I'm seeing a pattern here with people like that, and they're going to be dead soon anyway. So you're going to get an extremely extremely low amount of people who actually support a return to national service. And that's only going to get more and more common once they go and pass on to the other side. Another factor as well is that the Conservative Party will not be in power for very long. Like, is it around like when is the election? It's nearly the end of May now. It's on July the 4th, so just really over a month really until they're gone, until they are gone. So in that regard, the time they will have to do to the time they have to implement national service is incredibly low. And this is not just to mention, like I already said, about there being barely any support for it returning. They just won't have the time. And I know there have been people saying that Labour will implement national service as well, which, like I said before, though, with international relations at the moment, I could imagine them doing it that way. Though I don't think it's just going to end after Labour gets in power, because they will, There's a very decent chance that they are getting 0 seats, Conservatives. So in that regard, they aren't going to have enough time to implement it. And I am seeing people saying that, who I think a bit naive, saying they will implement it now. Like I said before, though, the government, the army, doesn't have enough resources to actually implement national service and let alone conscription, just based on how small it is and how little people want to volunteer for it. And that will just make it really hard to do. At the very least, what I predict is going to happen is that, I don't know if it was World War One or World War Two. It could be in both, but I think it was possibly World War Two. Because I think it was World War Two. Because I think Ireland had independence over that point. But essentially, I think it was World War Two. Conscription was happening. The Irish people is a very foreign neutral country. They aren't involved in. I don't think they're members of NATO. Well, obviously they aren't, because they won't be a neutral country. But I think Irish people in general just don't really care. They're the type of people who put their countries first and not really care about the rest of the world, I would say. Conscription was introduced in Ireland, but no one was conscripted. Because generally barely anyone was an advocate for it, and there was a massive protest. So at the very least, I think that's going to happen. At the very least, we're going to at least implement conscription, but barely, if anyone is going to get conscripted. Because no one really wants to fight, and there'll be massive upheaval about it. No one wants to fight at the end of the day. Another fact as well is that Generation Z is not the type of people you really want to fight in the front line. We have like the most low IQ, mentally ill, degenerate, fat, disgusting, just wastes of space, to be fair. So we aren't going to survive long, I don't think. Well, lots of my fellow Gen Z peers won't. Like, I'm not saying I will either. And I would just rather, if national service is introduced or conscription, I would rather just pay the fine. Because, at least I'm staying at home, I'm not possibly dying. And I'm probably dying in somewhere. Or go to prison, because prison isn't that bad in comparison, because if World War III does break out, and there have been people saying that we're already at war with Russia, it's either going to be, in my opinion, a war with not that much death due to technological advancements, due to things much being more about cyber hacking, stealing data. It's much more advanced than just killing people. Or it's going to just be a giant bloodbath. I really don't think it's going to be one middle ground. And even if it is like the first option, which isn't as bad, of course, because less people will die in that scenario, I still really wouldn't want to fight, because it's kind of just immoral that I'm just shooting and blowing up stuff for the sake of it. Because at the end of the day, is that all you're really doing? You're just kind of blowing things up in that scenario, which you'll do either way. Even if the bloodbath scenario is true, it will happen more likely, will be more accurate. Hopefully not, but so we're going to not be really in the middle ground, and I just don't really agree with it either. I don't see why we should be wasting all this genius and technology and infrastructure just for blowing it up. Because that one of the things that is quite sad about wars in general, because wars often correlate with technological advancement. This is because the government is, funding research in all areas such as engineering, computing, science, medicine. And a common example of this would be in World War One, where plastic surgery research went up through the roof, because people getting ruined and destroyed, getting disfigured. So plastic surgery did increase, and I think they found insulin during World War One as well, or World War Two. So that is kind of a sad thing about war. Like, we can't really most technological advancement are only mainly made during times when it just needs you to try and kill people, or try and make some better so we can fight and kill people again. It's kind of a bit depressing that about humanity that there's many technological advancements in history come just from war in all fields, which is kind of, like I said before, it was a bit depressing. The other thing as well is that the idea of national service, which I'm seeing a lot from people who are advocates for it, as well as like conservative MPs like David Cameron saying it will bring back the community together, and I'm like, it's a contradiction. Forcing people to do nice things, such as helping out, isn't building a community when you're forced to do it. Like I've been seeing Rishi Sunak say this in the same sentence, forcing people to volunteer. That's not volunteering if you're forced, and people are aware of this. People are aware of this massive contradiction, and that's not how communities are made. Communities are made on organic, voluntary exchanges. That's one factor as well. Obviously, there's money and economics that come into it that help build a community, but also connections made voluntarily. That's like me putting a gun to your head and forcing you to donate to charity. You're not doing that out of goodness of your own heart. You're doing it because you're forced to. Same thing with taxes. Like you could say, well, you get some people say I'm happy to pay taxes and stuff like that because I'm a good person. And it's like, well, no. Like, in a hypothetical scenario, if you didn't have to pay taxes, would you pay them? I think many of these people wouldn't actually have the option, but now have no choice. Well, that's like they're very virtuous. Was that lightning strike? Was that fucking lightning strike? What the hell happened there? Oh, anyway, never mind. I didn't see it because it was raining quite a bit, but yeah, it was a lightning strike. So I think it's only gonna be a short one. It hasn't even been that sunny, to be fair. It rained a bit now though. I'm gonna have to look at all weather. So anyway, one last thing as well, that no one is happy with the state of affairs in the UK now. So like I said before though, what people just won't care about the wars and what they're fighting for. No one is happy with the Conservative Party. Literally no one is. No one on the left and no one on the right. No one likes the Conservative Party. It's no one likes it. And and it's like, who does this appeal to? Like I said before though, this appeals to no one. Because people have been kind of rejecting, the neo-conservative thing that has dominated the right in all around the world now. You're getting a much more nationalist backlash to international organisations, and I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying that on the right and also on the left, you're seeing like backlash against like globalism. I think for different reasons, of course, but you're seeing a backlash against the what we want to call it, the neoconservative is probably the right thing to say on the right, or neoliberalism, even though that term has barely any meaning. I have no idea what neoliberalism means. It's just a term that people use for abuse. But this government intervening in foreign affairs, I think, is going now. I think well, at least on the common voter, I would say, politically literate. I would say people who are fully invested in politics or read books on it. And as well as your average Joe, most people, because of the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, weapons of mass destruction being utter bullshit, people have just kind of been fed up of it now. I think everyone is kind of fed up now. They just think like, who cares at the end of the day? And you are getting that kind of like backlash among normal people, I think now. Or they either just don't care and they're neutral on it. They may say that's what Ukraine, because the news people said so. But I think most people, when push comes to shove, and you would dig a bit deeper, like, would you fight? So then they'll say no, and then we'll kind of like, it's not my problem now. And I think that's what you're getting around now. So anyway, this has been a bit of a long video, but comment below what you thought about this video. And if you want more videos like this, put comments below. And anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Goodbye.